standpoint of how God views poor people. How he views poor people. Okay. Oh, I'll give it 1 minute first. Thank you. Talking about how God views poor people and how the quality of leadership is determined based on how leaders treat poor people. So we have to understand then that God has a special affection for poor people. And he expects people to treat them fairly, to show them compassion, to show them concern, and to show them love. And so this lesson then is about people who don't show poor people what they're supposed to show them. Because this is, we're talking about God's people. So we have to know that all God is, I never see a condemnation in the scriptures any place of God condemning people for being rich. I do see him condemning people for how they handle riches and their attitudes toward people who aren't rich. I see that. That's clear. And this lesson, it's timely. I mean, because it literally fits what's going on right now in our country. Because in our country, you got a so-called billionaire president, with a so-called billionaire assistant president, who is running amok in the government in their mistreatment of people that eventually trickles down to the mistreatment of poor people. People that are vulnerable, people that are in need. And when you see that, what you see then is consequences. What Micah does is he preaches against practices that are ungodly. And he warns of consequences. Things will happen to you when you don't treat poor people fairly. And we see that in this lesson today. So we got the leaders' evil desires, leaders' corruption, and God's call. Verses 1 through 3, and I said, "Here I pray you, O heads of Jacob, ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? Who hate the good and love the evil? Who pluck off their skin off them and their flesh from their bones? who also eat flesh of my people, lay their skin off them, break their bones, chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and flesh within the cauldron. This is a grisly description of the greed of these people. There is being said that you literally just filleting people, just killing them with what you're doing to them. You literally treat them as if they're nothing more than a piece of meat. We see that every day. See that. We see that. We see that. Hear this, I pray you heads of the house of Jacob, prince of the house of Jacob, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. We see it. I'm stuck because, and I'm stuck on the phrase, we see it.
What's happening is affecting everybody.
We see it.
We see it, and you don't see it inside home with you because it's so obvious.
We see it.
See it.
What has happened in the last 90 days is we are seeing the total disruption and the total taking down of an entire country.
Rebuilding it to suit him.
And it won't be rebuilt.
Yeah. So you're gonna take more than them to do it, but it's gonna take the other leaders, Congress and all of them to stand up and say, hey, this is enough.
And they're not gonna do it.
Yeah. It's almost they're agreeing with what he's doing.
Republicans are definitely. We're seeing it.
Yeah,
We're seeing the total takedown of our country.
Yeah.
Listen, we're seeing the president of our country becoming friends with the number one enemy of our country, historically. He's ignoring history. In the history of our country, we have never been friends with Russia. Never. But we're seeing it. If you get, I don't know if y'all remember the 1960 Cuban Missile Crisis.
I'm not more, but I know about it.
When Kennedy stood up and told the kid Khrushchev, get the missiles from our backyard. If you don't, we're willing to go to war. They moved. But guess what? They're over in Russia, they're over in Cuba right now. And ain't nobody saying nothing. Nothing. So what we're seeing then is security issues. We're seeing food insecurity issues. We're seeing credit issues. I was just last night. I was looking at a show on YouTube talking about the 6 states in which it's difficult for Black people to buy houses. Mississippi, North and South Dakota, Missouri, Nebraska, and Indiana. Black people can have money, they can have stellar credit, and can't buy a house.
No, that's fine with it, yeah.
True, but still, it's America. And in America, people shouldn't be viewed like that.
What area do you live in, Pastor?
No, I'm just talking
Okay,
about,
okay, all right.
I'm just talking about
Oh, how it should be.
how it should be.
Oh, okay, all right.
But we know how it is. We know how it should be. And so when we look at this stuff, and we look at Micah is dead on. Micah is speaking across the ages, not just to the people of his day. He's speaking to the people of this day. So I mean, I would have felt better if this was a lesson that just talked about a historical event. But this lesson kind of bothered me because it makes me know we're no better than what they were.
All this time.
All this thousands of years, and we're no better. Rich people are still greedy. Listen, tearing up the whole government just to position rich people for another tax cut.
Yeah.
That's what all this is about. It's about money.
We don't pay tax, they don't pay tax.
No,
That's why he want to get rid of IRS, because if we don't pay taxes, they don't have to pay.
but what happened to the country?
It goes to,
The country goes broke.
goes to the handmaster.
And when the country goes broke, that means military planes can't fly. Military soldiers cannot move. That means this whole country grinds to a halt. Which means any enemy of this country got free access to the whole country. That's where we're sitting. We're sitting right here on the edge of a total takeover of our country by Russia. Because Donald Trump wants money. It's always money. Money. I want to be I don't really want to be king. I just want to have all the money.
Money is power on her.
Because money give me power. And I'm proving to you already, I'm doing whatever I want to do, and can't nobody stop me. That's what we're in right now. And our only assurance is what Michael is saying. God told me to tell you this. The reason why God told me to tell you this is because God wants you to know He's aware of it. He sees it. He knows it inside and out, and He is not happy with it. Therefore, Israel already gone. The 10 tribes of Israel gone to Assyria. Judah, you are left. If you don't straighten up, you gone. Guess what? America, you gone if you don't straighten up. Where are you gone? Red China. Where are you gone? Russia. The biggest economy in the world is going to be taken down. Not from the outside.
Right.
Not from guns and bullets, but from greed. That's what we are.
Right. And they're like, wait a minute, yeah, he told you what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
He didn't keep it a secret.
That's where we are. Any comments, any questions?
the thing that bothers me the most is there's people that think it's nothing wrong. I'm talking about poor people. Oh,
Yeah.
cause we poor, I mean, I make good money, but honestly, we're not poor, we still poor, we live with a decent life, but we still poor compared to everybody else. And there's people that I know, that make $30, $40 a day, he gonna fix everything. No, he finna make you work where you at. You think you finna get better.
It ain't gonna get no better.
Because the reason he running the Hispanic side of the country so he can make the black people do the job. He's gonna take us and try to make us their home.
Well, you gotta think about it a little deeper than that. Gotta think about it a little deeper. Hispanic people are the people that will push us over into the majority.
And that's what happened.
When they come in and they become naturalized citizens, they become eligible to vote. Everything in this country is determined by vote. So if I can push them out the country, then they don't stand a chance of joining with black folk and becoming the majority. When I build prisons and put a lot of black folk in prisons, then I cut their electorate. When I keep all other immigrants that are brown or yellow out the country, then I keep the voting population down. And then when I continue to do what I'm doing to pack the Supreme Court with people who agree with me, then I'm able to run this country the exact way I want to run it. So the question then becomes, how do you want to run this country? I want to run it where I got to say so, and nobody else does. So Congress, the Republicans who are the majority in Congress, you know what they said to him? Run it. It's okay. We'll back you up. So he gets to run the country in the ground with their approval.
Because they get money too.
Right.
Because they get paid too. Listen, Elon Musk just enjoying himself
He's getting all the money he can get.
because every week he making billions off this country. He was so greedy, he went to the treasury and said, I want to see how y'all pay people. I want to know the mechanisms of how payments are triggered by the treasury. And the head of the treasury said, that's not for you to know. You don't have security clearance for that. So I'm not telling you nothing. He calls Trump. You got a person up in the treasury ain't giving me what I want. Put him on the phone. Give the man what he wants. I'm not giving him nothing. I quit. That's what happened 2 weeks ago. So this whole country then is being slowly put up for sale. Going to the dogs. That's what greed does. Greed knows no end. There's no end game. There's no situation where if I got $50 billion or 50 billion, that's enough. Nah. More and more and more and more and more. It's like Pac-Man. You remember that little Pac-Man game? Just eat more, just eat it up. And that's what you got here. This is the kind of climate that Michael was dealing with. he was dealing with people who were greedy, who were leaders who were greedy. Leaders of God's people that were greedy. And the reason why it was so bad is because you're not looking at heathen, godless people. You're looking at people within God we trust on their money. That don't trust God at all. Just trust the money. Skinning people to death. Taking everything they could.
And they got us, because whenever they don't got us to do everything electronically, all our money, all our payments are just digits.
Yeah.
So when the government decides to just cut those digits off,
you cut.
we can't do nothing.
You can't do nothing.
So we don't even realize it because we just swipe. We're done. The phones we got, everything that we do.
That's why that lady quit. She said, I'm not telling you that. I'm not letting you have that stuff.
Because they can shut off.
For you to have that is for you to control people's life and livelihoods. So that's where we are. That's what Micah is talking about. So he goes on. He keeps giving all these descriptions. They build up Zion with blood, Jerusalem with iniquity. Zion and Jerusalem, holy. The heads thereof judge for reward. They get paid. Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Supreme Court justices, with all kind of unethical payments being made to them by people who have cases before the Supreme Court. What do you think their case is going to look like when it comes time for a decision? They're going to get what they want. The whole corrupting the entire justice system by making it known it used to be if you got a good lawyer, if you paid a lawyer a lot of money, you could get justice the way you want. Now it's if you pay a judge a lot of money, you can get what you want. And that's from the Supreme Court on down. Remember that crazy lady down there in Miami with the documents case? I forget her name. Because Trump put her in a position, she was loyal to him more so than to the law. So that's what you got going on. The priests teach for hire. I ain't teaching you nothing unless you pay me. The prophets divine for money. I'm not going to tell you anything about your future until you give me some money. And yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, it's not the Lord among us. None evil can come upon us. Meaning prophesying in the Lord's name for money. And telling people stuff they want to hear for money. So they turn the temple and turn prophecy into a Miss Cleo thing. You want to know something? Pay me first. Pay me first.
Like they figured it out.
Pay me first.
That's right.
That's what's going on.
Every night.
That's what Micah is discussing, talking about. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field. Jerusalem shall become peace, and the mountain of the house and the high places of the fathers. Prophesying destruction. If you think about it, we can't continue like this. If God be God, what we see going on in our country can't continue. Something's got to happen. I heard in the New Testament it said when you see these things occurring, it says, stand ye in the holy place. It says because these are the beginning of sorrows. If you look at Donald Trump is positioning himself to become the Antichrist of this generation. Can't nobody tell him what to do. Don't pay no attention to no laws, no courts.
Right. And they took up for him. That's the sad part.
Got everybody. Whatever he say.
He didn't mean it like that. That's what he meant.
However you want to do. That's what you're viewing today. You're seeing prophecy come alive in your vision, in your sight, plain sight. We cannot look at this lesson and say, oh, that was for the people back then. Nah, it's for us now.
Yeah.
It's being played out now. Yeah, now. Now, over in 6:6, what we see here, shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, calves of a year old? That makes reference to the sacrificial system of religion. And Micah is asking the question, do you think this is what God wants from you? Just sacrifice. Just a pretense of going through religion. Ain't what God wants from you. Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? God is not looking for any of that. That's not what he's after. He has, then Micah sums it up. He has showed thee, old man, what is good. You know what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, that means do right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. All God wants from us is just three things. Do right, show folk kindness and mercy, and to walk humbly before God. Now, why? Those are three simple things. Question becomes, why are the simple things so difficult to achieve? That's simple. do right. Show mercy. Walk on. What prevents that? Question to you.
Just don't want to do it. You want to do it your way or not. You know, like simple things.
People don't like simplicity, they like to do it hard.
To be just a level
Immature.
we like to say we do the right thing, we like to say we do those simple things. But a lot of times we don't, because it's how I said, why should I ain't got time for that.
We like to say it, but we don't do it.
Yeah, like you said, we're kind of one another to a point.
To a point.
But are we really kind to one another? My grandfather, I know God had his heart. Because my grandfather, I don't know, I'm gonna tell you, I keep saying I don't know how to do it. I know it was God. He would feed anybody, he would give anybody his money without expecting anything in return. I just can't get with God. And I just listen. I'm be honest. I'm honest. It's hard, and it seems like the more money you got, the more money they don't. And Lord have mercy. I'm be honest. I struggle with that as God has blessed me. God has, when I say God has truly blessed me. And I do help people. And one time somebody asked me for something, and my wife said, I don't understand, when that person asks you go up on the roof, this person will beat you all the time. You don't say nothing. So what is it about that? It's like, well, I don't think this person's doing the right thing, but if I'm gonna help them, I'm gonna help them. It shouldn't be what I think about what they're gonna do to them, but I think, oh, he ain't gonna let me smoke, and he out in the streets, so I'm out with just throwing them on the ground.
I'm of the opinion that a lot of times the help we give ain't no help at all.
What is it? What is it then?
I think we just do it to get rid of it.
Get people out of the job.
Get them out of it.
Lord, that's not right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
See, because
I ain't saying I ain't doing it, but I'm just saying that can't get that right.
if I'm literally trying to help you, then I gotta take the fishing out of it. Instead of giving you a fish, I need to teach you how to fish. Because if I teach you how, if I give you a fish, you're just gonna eat one fish. But if I teach you how to fish, you can eat fish anytime you get ready. You just go fish and get it.
So you're saying it's easier for us just to get that fish and move on.
That's what it's easier for us to just give a fish and move on.
What about when we don't think that fish deserves to be given to the person?
We do it because we just don't want to be dealing with it.
But then God don't bless us in that respect. Am I correct?
I think God tells us to be good stewards over our money and our things. One thing that's helped me, I have a couple relatives that like to cash at me this and cash at me that, and I was like, and I said, right. So I said, so when I started saying, you know what, I need to help you with your budget. Guess what? They don't ask me no more. Yeah, I'll give you some help in that way, but I'm not gonna keep cash at you $30 here and all that kind of stuff. Like, I sound like I need to help you with your budget. I budget my money. I'm a good steward over my money. So don't think I'm just gonna give you mine because I know what's right. I can show you how they don't want that help. So
you'll pay they better than you.
right.
It's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that because when I lived in Atlanta, there was a big article in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. The article was about black people and their accumulation of wealth.
Mhm.
And the reporters had been interviewing different professional black people. So they interviewed this engineer. This engineer said, I made good money. He said, I made well over $100,000. He said, but I ain't got nothing. He said, I can't accumulate no wealth. He said, because I got a brother who knows my payday better than I do. And I can't accumulate no wealth because I'm always pulling him out of one ditch or another. He said, if it ain't him, it's cousins. He said, that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about black people. Black people find it hard to let their families fall. So they spend a gross amount of their own funding to keep their families afloat.
But that's equivalent to us from children.
But he said, and you do it all your working life until you get old, and then none of them help you.
That's true, that is true.
Can't find them. Can't find them.
Think about it. Go pick. So when we
How do you say?
you want to say something?
Yeah, earlier before you said that, I give homeless people every day, and some of them thankful. You know, some of them most say, "Oh, thank you, God bless you." And some of them, you know, that you see their heart that they really ain't got.
Right.
And you hand them $1 or two, they be grateful to get that, even though they might go buy some beer or something with it. But they really, you know, and I feel that I'm showing them the God in me, that God working in me to bless you. You know what I mean? There is a God. You know what I mean? And when I hand them that $1 or two, they be thankful for it. Some of them say, God bless you, God, like, you know what I mean? You know, I bless them, you know, every day.
And see, another thing is, Jesus said, the poor you will have with you always. Meaning there are some people that's gonna be poverty stricken always. Why?
But why is it so hard to continue to give? When do you say no? Like, I hate to say it, but when I want to tell somebody, I say, I gotta talk to my wife. If I tell you I gotta talk to my wife, that's my no button right there.
No button.
And I probably shouldn't listen. I had a brother say, what you call her for?
Well,
She put money in that account, and I got it.
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're supposed to talk to your wife. That's not. That's wise.
I know, but you know, we do have, you know, we got joint account, and we have a separate account too. So this ain't money that's affecting my house. This is my own allowance account or whatever. And I still I gotta talk to my wife about it, even though she ain't got nothing to do with that money. And she looked at me, well, you got your own money, why you talking to me? Help me out, sister, help me out. But what I'm saying, Pastor, is how do you say no without lying?
Right.
Say it again.
Just say no.
No, it's not a bad word.
I think too, we gotta separate.
No, it's a bad word. No, it's not a bad word.
It's not a bad word.
Forgive me when I say no. I tell my children already. I say 2 things you learn at home, at church, at school. Yes and no. Know when to use
Mhm.
it. Every time they come up, no. But I know you got it. Yes, I do. I got it.
Yeah,
You can go get
That ain't
that.
why everybody keep giving it to you.
That's
Right.
Exactly. So I tell them no. And I done had some look at me when I tell them no, like I should tell them no. I'm gonna tell you and anybody else no if I don't want to give you my money.
That's right.
And then I give them the 3rd degree. First they come, I need what you need to buy for, what you got to do. I said, yeah, I'm going back to this my money.
Yeah.
Not yours. I said, I don't work anymore. I said, that little bit come, I still got bills, gonna have bills for the rest of my life. You know, but then y'all telling me, go out there and get your job, get yourself one if they're not paying you enough.
okay.
And that's what I tell them. I work 23 jobs. I know. Seriously, counseling.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm asking, I'm looking, I'm taking notes.
You preaching to the choir
Now that what you're saying, I think you might be comparing yourself to your granddaddy. Yes, your granddaddy did that. That was him. That's how
I don't know
God.
how he did.
That's how God laid on
Well,
his heart to do. That might not be you. But I don't think if you start saying no, I don't think it's gonna stop your blessings. I think what will stop your blessings is God do tell you to go do,
Right.
and you say no. When God says it, I gotta do it. But when people request it, I don't have to tell you yes. I'm gonna be obedient to God first. And if God has not put that on your heart to be that type of giver, then that's what it is.
What's that scripture has Pastor Lee said, if a man don't work, he don't eat.
Exactly.
now.
That's what it says. That's what it says.
They were sitting out there talking about Jesus coming soon. We don't need to go to work. I'll say, yes, you do. I'll say, you don't work, you don't eat.
There's some people holding up their hungry flag every day.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because they got places around here where they feed you Monday to Thursday.
Yeah, that hustle.
And they talk about hungry. You ain't hungry.
You're hungry, you hustle.
Yeah.
There was a lady in town. Old white lady who used to push a basket around. This woman saw her pushing a basket around and felt sorry for the lady. So she went and asked the lady, did she have a place to stay? Did she have any money? And the lady told her, no. So the lady started giving, every time she sees a woman on the street, giving her money, giving her money, giving her money. So the lady died. And they picked her. She died on the street. They picked the lady up, and the lady had a money belt. They took the money belt off. This lady had been walking around on the street for years with over $20,000 in her money belt. Some people are homeless because they want to be.
Want to be.
It's by their choice. They don't want responsibility.
I had a homeless guy that helped me and he thought he was better. Husband, they got husbands better. And he, like, we got a lifetime, we had everything, we got everything set. It was a light bill, everything he needed to sustain life. Nice guy turned off and they had called me, they said, Mr. Butler, he started a campfire in the living room. I said, what? So I go to his house, I said, hey man, what are you doing? I said, they want to put you out, you started, they said you had a fire in the living room. He said, well, I ain't got no light, so I had to get some heat up in here. I said, what you doing with your money? He said, oh, I got money. Like, you don't want to pay the light bill. They ain't got a pocket, let me say, got a pocket full of money. I said, man, your rent is $75 a month. And you 4 months behind.
Whoa.
That is, I know worse than that.
And I couldn't understand that. And they put him out too, they kicked him out.
That's it, right.
We had, when I worked in St. Petersburg at Social Security, there was a man, he would come come, we would not send his check to a mailbox where he was. We made him come into the office and sign for his check. Reason we did that was because he would get his check on the 1st and come in there on the 5th and say somebody he didn't get his mail, he didn't get his check. And they would be issuing him duplicate checks. So you look on his record and you got a straight line, nothing but duplicate check negotiations. So the manager said, don't issue him no more, make him come in. So he started coming into the office. And so I said, sir, where are you staying? He said, I live on the street. I said, I notice every time you come in here, you got different bruises on you. He said, people be beating me up and taking my money. I said, that means you need to get off the street. I said, do you want us to help you get a place to stay? He said, I don't know. I said, we'll help you if you want us to. He said, okay. So I go out, I talk to the manager said, go find him a place to stay. Go find this man a place to stay. The rent at that time was like $150. He get an SSI. Pays the rent the first month. Next month, he is back in the office. I didn't get my check. You signed for it. What you mean you didn't get your check? Don't you remember coming in here and signing for it? I ain't living in that place no more. I don't want to live there no more. I can't live in it. I said, what's wrong with the place? I hate to tell you, I prefer to keep my money and just live on the street.
Some people like,
Why? Because he was an alcoholic. He needed every dime to drink up. So you run into all different kinds of scenarios. But Micah is talking to us about how rich people and leaders mistreat poor people. How they exploit them to take everything they can from them. And Michael wants us to understand that God is not pleased with that type of an attitude. And so if Israel has fallen because of it, and Judah is getting ready to fall because of it, we cannot in no way think that in our country that God will allow people in our country to do well when they mistreat poor people. And I remember that YouTube video, one of the poorest states in the country, Mississippi, got one of the biggest black populations, over 40%.
Yes, the large black population in America.
Over 40% of Mississippi is black.
48%.
Yeah, black. And them white people will not let them people get up.
Will not get up in there.
Anyone else? If not, back in the hands of Jesus.
again, Pastor, for our lesson this morning for this week, was actually still happening. It's like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. He says it's happened then, it's happening now, and we just gotta be aware, stay in prayer, yes, gotta trust God through it all. Because I believe it's gonna come down and you're gonna have to either say you know him or you don't know him.
Yeah.
You know, and so be ready, you know, because it's gonna be a time they're gonna ask you who you serve. God. You keep saying it. And even though they say you're gonna die, it will kill you. Stand firm and go believing that God is God. It's the way things are now, oh my,
Shake it out.
oh my.
One of these mass shootings, there was a, I reckon one in California a couple years ago. The young man who was killing people, he said, "You believe in God?" And they were like, "Yes, where your God at? He gonna save you now."
Mhm.
And he shot him, and if they didn't say they believe in God, like you said, yeah, he shot him, he killed him.
It's gonna be that time, it's coming, it's coming.
But they did not, from my understanding, the people that lived said those people stood on God, which is, you know, if you're gonna die anyway, you might as well just go ahead and say, "I'm with God." I mean, 'cause which way goes, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah.